Okay, it's finally pitched. Took a little bit longer than expected, but we are experimenting with a nest that has arrived from Bearpawwd. Now, a lot of people are buying their nests from Outworks at the moment. Very good nests, but safe to say that the Outworks design came from the Bearpawwd nest in the USA. I've got to say, Bearpawwd are an excellent company. You can specify your design very similar to Outworks, and they will build it to your specification for the trailstar. I'm going to have a look at the nest in a minute. There we go. Okay, you can see, if people are familiar with the Outworks type nest, it's identical, and John Schultz did tell me that the Outworks nest is identical because it's a copy of the Bearpawwd nest. His words, not mine. This one is a custom made nest with carbon fibre walls, carbon fibre floor. The floor is thicker than the walls. A T construction zip arrangement, which can be tied back, as you can see, and also the arrangement at the top allows the nest to be hunkered down when you hunker the trailstar down, so it doesn't sag. It's taken some tweaking, some playing with, because it doesn't come with instructions, so I've had to figure it out by myself. I don't know if it's 100% right yet, but it's certainly good enough to sleep in. Cost $180. Am I telling the truth there? No, $280 delivered from the States. Delivery time, get this, delivery time, 2 weeks. He told me that it would be 2 weeks before he actually dispatched it. He dispatched it after 10 days, which was amazing, and it arrived 4 or 5 days later, so you really can't complain at the level of service. What I will say is, like MLD at Trailstar, or the guy who designs the trailstar, Ron, John is exactly the same. You send them an email and you get a one-word reply, or yes, it's on its way, or whatever. It's a bit different from us here in the UK, where it's all kindness regards this and kindness regards that. Well, they are not like that, and that's fair enough, because when they deliver a nest of this quality inside 2 weeks rather than waiting 12, 14, 16 weeks for competitors' nests, it's not bad. That's all. Excuse me, you'll have to excuse me. I'm drinking a horrible cup of coffee at the moment with soya milk in, because it's -4 out here today. You can see the frost on the ground and freezing fog as well, with wind chill. The weather station, which there's one on the hill here, is indicating -6, which is great because I've got no experience with the trailstar or with nests, and as you can see, I've got the Outkit pipedream 600 down sleeping bag in there, and I want to try it out and see whether or not I'm warm enough. And underneath the pipedream 600 is that, which is the exped ultralight 7, or the 7 ultralight down mat, rated to -24. So we've got a sleeping bag that's rated to -5, but if you speak to Outkit, they'll say it'll go to -15, no problem at all, with a mat underneath that's rated to -24. And I'm hoping that this will be warm enough, because I'm going wild camping next week and it's likely to be cold, and I don't like the cold. So what I'm going to do now is get in a sleeping bag and report back. here we are again. Hello. Brew's almost finished. -5. Feet are freezing because I've just got these crappy slip-ons on in the garden, but I'm in the sleeping bag. I'm on the exped down mat, which is the first time I've used it. Now, it needs a little bit of air in it, I think, but I use a Neo Air Thermarest X-Lite, and this thing, it is amazing, amazing difference between the Neo Air and this. You can feel the warmth radiating back in this sleeping bag and with the mat underneath, and it's a lot more comfortable than the Thermarest as well. In the pipedream 600 with one of these liners from Sea and Summit, reactor liner. Now you hear a lot of negatives on the forums that they do absolutely nothing. Well, I've had to take my trousers off because they're a bit wet, and too much information, but going commando at the moment, and so I'm in here with nothing on my bottom half at all. Now, before I got in the sleeping bag, I got in the reactor liner first of all, and to save you disgust I didn't video that obviously, but I could actually feel warmth just being in the reactor liner on its own. And don't forget it's -4, so it wasn't warm, but I could actually feel getting warmer just by being in the reactor liner. So for the people who say they do nothing at all, or they do, how much they do, well, that's to be determined by the individual, isn't it, really? But in the sleeping bag and in the nest, as we can see, there's absolutely loads of room within the trailstar to cook, to put your clothes, to put a rucksack, whatever it is you need in here. And what I will say is I'm leaning against the floor, and the floor is below freezing. It is absolutely freezing, and I'm as snug as a bug in a rug. Now my legs are freezing cold because I've been out here all morning. Just wriggled out of the sleeping bag, incredibly warm as I would have expected. Not taking my hat off because I would sleep in my hat anyway. Yes, I know it does look like a mushroom. Jumper, I would normally have a base layer on, merino wool or similar, or a thermal top. This is just a thing from Marks and Spencer's, but this is literally all I've got on, hat and this. We're at -6 with the wind chill, and I was warm, toasty warm, and would get a good night's sleep in this configuration. So I would recommend the Trailstar. Ouch, my arm's hurting now. And I would recommend Bearpawwd, MLD, Bearpawwd, and exped, and Outkit for a good night's sleep. See you later. Okay, we're back again. It'll look a bit odd because it's going through the no-seam sil nylon. What I will say is we're in the Trailstar at the moment in the garden, and what is amazing is how open everything feels compared to a tent. But it feels great. You won't get the view because it's normally quite nice out there, but because of the fog. Length in the Bearpawwd, plenty of room for my legs. It is getting towards the end. The sleeping bag is touching the cubing fibre, but then at this end there's room to store stuff, and this, that and the other. He's even put a little pocket in there like I asked him to. Overall impressions of the Bearpawwd, it'll definitely do what it's meant to do. Built good quality, cracking piece of kit, well worth the money. $280, which works out about 180 quid, and arrived in 2 weeks. for people who haven't used the trailstar, again, my first impressions were it was too big. Well, once you get used to this, this is like camping, luxury camping. There's no squeezing yourself into a tent, and the great thing is once you're in, you don't feel like you're in a tent because you've got the wide open spaces. And big question, does the nest detract from that? Absolutely not. I don't notice the carbon fibre walls, even though they are big enough to take all the wind off me while I'm lay here. There is no way that there's wind going to come in from either sides, back or sides. Obviously you can at the front, so it does its job, it protects you. But when you look at the front, obviously it's completely open, and the bottom of the trailstar is completely open. I put it in that configuration. I always worried, do I need to drop it down? No, absolutely not. I mean, here, water's going to hit the carbon fibre inner thing, but that's what the carbon fibre is there for. It's weatherproof. It's not going to get wet. Water's not going to breathe through, so I can live with that. I think if I was sleeping in it and I didn't have the nest, then yeah, I would. I'd hunker this down if the weather was weather was bad actually and raining. What I mean by hunkering down, I mean these guy lines I would pull down, and so there was very little gap underneath. But do I need to do it with this nest? No, I don't think I do. Interesting to see what happened when the wind came in. But as everybody knows, you just drop that down, and then you can see that loop there on the pyranet. You pull that tight and it just tightens up the nest, and so it's not sitting on you. Yeah, I hope that's comprehensive enough for most people. If you've got any questions, visit the blog on www.wildcampingclub.com//blog. And we'll happily answer them or leave some comments on YouTube. Thank you.